Okay, so I wanted to do a little video on court today, just because it's a lot to type and not a whole lot happened. So, anyways, the court, the district court in Monroeville is right next to the dance studio. Like, it actually connects to the dance studio. It's the same building, the dance studios and some offices, and then to the left is the district court. So anyways, I got there, and then a victim's advocate came and spoke to me. And, I just went through this whole thing a couple years ago because Geno had me charged with simple assault, and then he had a victim's advocate. And in the same day that we went to court for the simple assault charges that I thought were going to be dropped, he increased them to a strangulation felony by getting on the stand and saying, "Oh, by the way, she choked me that night and I couldn't breathe for 2 seconds." Then they gave me the strangulation felony. But it all started with a simple assault, which is what Melissa is charged with, and she's also charged with disorderly conduct. So I get there, and I'm early, and I am talking. The victim's advocate came out and took me into another room, and she starts telling me, asking me, or she tells me that the cop, she tells me that the cop has COVID or has been exposed to COVID, so he is not there today, so the case may have to be continued. But considering that, there is a video that is pretty obvious or very obvious and clear of what happened, then we may be still able to go to court today. So then about 9:05, Melissa and her attorney shows up, which just happens to be attorney Ann Sims, who Geno used for one court hearing. So he's paid this attorney, Eric D., I don't know, probably $60,000 or so by now. And Eric D. refused to represent him this day, that he was stealing our marital house off of me because he knew that a whole bunch of lies were going to be told, and they were. And I'm actually getting ready to pull, if I have to, the transcript from the PFA hearing, blah, 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 where my house got stolen from me, and this attorney, Ann Sims, represented him because I need that for my divorce. For whenever we go to divorce court, if we do, I will need that. Anyway, so this is the attorney who's representing her, and they come in and they sit right next to me, and they're like antagonizing me the whole time. So they're like staring at me, and I'm just like staring right back basically at the attorney. Melissa's back was to me, but she kept turning and looking at me. And so I'm just like staring at the attorney like, seriously, is this attorney Ann Sims? You gotta be fucking kidding me. So the attorney says to Melissa, "Oh, she's really staring at me." And Melissa's like, "Oh yeah, she does that. She'll do that." Okay, bitch, I've never even fucking looked at you or been around you and tried my best to stay away from you the very few times I have ever seen you. And honestly, I think it was the third time I ever seen her ever in my life. And the other times have been at a distance, is when she punched me in the head. So anyways, they're going on. They're talking about the dance studio. She's asking how dance is going for Gianna. Obviously, she doesn't know Gianna doesn't go there anymore. And she's trying to tell her how nice the teacher is there, and how one of Christian's friends' moms told her to go to this dance studio and how nice it was. But, she was ripped out of Donna's, where I had been taking her since she was 2, where she does her recitals in her high school, where she attends school. In her school district. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So anyways, I'm dealing with a million other things because of this today as well. Anyways, not because of Melissa, but because of my divorce and custody issues. So they're like antagonizing me basically, and trying to upset me by talking about my children and talking what dance classes she had her enrolled in. And she was wanting to know what dance classes they offer there and what ones Gianna really liked. And she may put her granddaughter in. And I said, well, people are dropping out of that dance studio like flies since I was punched in the head. So then I stood up, I went outside, and I called Jen, and she was like, you need to go tell that victim's advocate that, they're trying to antagonize you, and they're staring at you and sitting right next to you and talking about your children, trying to upset you, and talking about you, trying to upset you right in front of you. So I said, okay. So I did that, and the victim's advocate was really nice, and she had me go sit in my car. And I went and sat in my car so while she waited to see if it was still going to take place today or not. So when she had me in the back, I gave her a quick rundown of the situation. She said, "What would you like to see here?" And I was like, "Well, I would like to see, her punished to the maximum, whatever that is, because, I'm being abused here and my children are being traumatized. My daughter was traumatized, and no end in sight. I have two abusers now, Melissa and Geno, stalking me. So it was him. Now I got the female version. So, anyways, long story short, I went and sat in my car, and now this is going to be continued to June 7th.